welcome back to Christchurch's Midday News Show with Bill and Charlie. It is currently 12:51 on February 22nd, 2011.
Today in hurling news, New Zealand beats Australia on a count of 3-4. Back to you, Will.
That must have been quite the game, Charlie. Earthquake! Oh my God! Get down! Breaking news! An earthquake has just occurred!
I didn't notice.
Everybody, get underneath the table so you don't get crushed by falling buildings and structures. Follow the safety guidelines we've followed.
Justin, you have some damage about this quake has just caused on the streets.
We're getting information in by the second, so we'll get more news to you as soon as we know it.
We have received news that it has a magnitude of 6.3.
An earthquake with that magnitude of around 6 means that the earthquake is strong enough to be felt by everyone. Damage should not be too bad, but there could be some deaths.
This quake has caused liquefaction as well, leaving the streets filled with rising levels of silt and water. Buildings have fallen due to excess liquid in the ground, one of the main causes of damage in destroyed buildings here in Christchurch.
The earthquake led to 10 smaller aftershocks with a magnitude of at least 4 in the first few minutes from the quake. The aftershocks were caused by adjustments in the ground by the earthquake.
The aftershocks are not generally as harmful, but they can be when you have broken buildings, like here in Christchurch.
Hi, welcome to Earthquake Safety with Liviya and Midori. Today we will be teaching you how to prepare for a big earthquake and how to best protect yourself during an earthquake. Here are the 4 steps on how to prepare. Step 1. Secure your space by identifying hazards and securing movable items. Some things you can do right now for no cost, including moving heavy or large items to the floor or lower shelves, moving things that can follow you away from where you spend a lot of time, such as chairs or beds, and moving heavy or unstable objects away from doors and escape routes. Step 2. Plan to be safe by creating a disaster plan and deciding how you will communicate in an emergency. Have a way to get a hold of your family after the shaking stops. Step 3. Organize disaster supplies in convenient locations. Step 4. Minimize financial hardships by organizing important documents, strengthening your property, and considering insurance. You never know what could get destroyed or burned, so you should be ready for the worst. Now, here's what to do during an earthquake. When you feel the earth shaking, drop, cover, and hold. Drop down onto your hands and knees before the earthquake makes you fall. Cover your head and neck under a sturdy table or desk. If there is no shelter nearby, then you should get down near an interior wall or a doorway. Hold on to your shelter or to your head and neck until the shaking stops. Move with your shelter if the shaking shifts it around. Improve safety after earthquakes by evacuating the area if necessary, helping the injured, and preventing further injuries or damage. If you are someplace where a tsunami is possible, get to higher ground. Remember that even if something looks safe after an earthquake, it may always fall over due to aftershocks, among other things.
Now we're on the streets with 2 people who have managed to escape the falling buildings and all their damage that has occurred.
That was terrifying. One moment I was eating my lunch and the ground suddenly started shaking. Everyone was in panic and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, the building started to crumble and collapse, and the street started to fill with muddy water that seemed to come from out of nowhere. I guess that weakened the buildings and made them fall.
I hope everyone is okay.
Don't worry, we'll figure this all out. You're safe now.
Welcome back. It has been an hour since the earthquake. As of right now, Christchurch seems to be alright, but we'll see.
Do we know the status of the injuries and fatalities?
To our best knowledge, it's about 185 have been killed, and about 164 others have been injured.
How did that happen?
I saw a couple buildings that were falling. There were probably people in there. Also, there were heavy objects, like buses or cars that could have fallen on people.
Lots of buildings have fallen in total. We've received word that 100,000 buildings are damaged.
Does this mean we'll have to evacuate the area?
Based on the damage the earthquake has caused to other buildings, in water, sewage pipes, and power lines, certain areas will definitely have to be evacuated. In the meantime, others may just want to leave because of the damage.
Welcome back. We're sitting here now with 2 geologists who've studied earthquakes in New Zealand for the past 10 years. They know what caused the earthquake and are willing to tell us more about it.
This quake was different than a lot of other earthquakes we normally have here. New Zealand has about 20,000 earthquakes every year, but almost all of them are minor.
Why Why was this earthquake stronger than others?
Well, New Zealand consists of two tectonic plates, the Pacific Plate and the Australian Plate. In part of New Zealand, they form a transform fault boundary, causing the plates to slide past each other. Luckily for us, on transform fault boundaries, only shallower and weaker earthquakes are produced.
This causes a buildup of stress which can be released, causing a sudden, forceful movement of the plates, resulting in medium-strength earthquakes. There must have been a lot of stress held up in this area recently. For all we know, this earthquake was most likely a very late aftershock of the last earthquake we had in September, which had a magnitude of 7.1. This earthquake only had a magnitude of 6.3.
Even though it was an aftershock, it seems to have caused more damage than the earthquake we had back in September. Why is that?
This earthquake did have a lower magnitude, but it was still stronger in a way. We consider this earthquake to be shallow, meaning that the epicenter was closer to the surface. The epicenter of this earthquake was in Littleton, which is about 10 kilometers away from Christchurch. Since the epicenter was not too far underground, it did not have to travel as far to get to Christchurch, meaning there would be more damage in the smaller area around the epicenter.
Also, the structure and movement of the bedrock led to very strong ground motion, resulting in the acceleration of the ground to be 3 to 4 times greater than what it would normally be. Many already weakened buildings were destroyed because of this.
Weren't the buildings destroyed because of liquefaction too?
Yes, liquefaction was extensive here and did cause many buildings to fall. The water and the silt in the streets and ground at least weakened the building structure if the building didn't fall.
Aftershocks of the earthquake also contributed to falling buildings. There were 10 aftershocks in the first 10 minutes with a magnitude of 4 or more, which took down many of the weaker buildings.
What will we do about all the damage?
We'll just have to start doing whatever we can. Electricity can be restored within a few days, but some areas of the city may take months or years before people can move back in. The liquefaction destroyed the foundation of many houses and other buildings, as well as telephone poles and sewage system. This will take a while to fully repair.
Well, we'll have to start somewhere.
Yeah, well, that's all the time we have for today. So we'll have to welcome you back to Christchurch's only news show tomorrow at 11 a.m. See you later.
Pressure, pushing on a fault, pressing down on a fault no man asked for. Liquefaction that brings a building down, splits a family in two, puts people on the streets. What these quakes can do. Some good friends scream, watch out, the shocks are shaking around, buildings fall down to the floor. These are the days, it's really bad when it shakes. Then it fell down.
This one? Are you on from there? Yeah,
Said
Midori,
my
you
car
I don't have
upside
that.
down.
I told you.
Wait, what?
Keep building
I said that I didn't have
but
this.
they're broken and torn. Why?
There you go.
I don't have it. Maybe I'll send this.
The earthquakes have come and the fault line is cracking. Can we give ourselves a warning? Why can't the quake give us some warning? Why can't we expect it, 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 expect it? Watch out for flashing holes
That's more than I've cried in the past, like...